The Americans with Disabilities Act was enacted in 1990 and became generally effective in 1992, and it prohibits an employer from discriminating against someone who is disabled or who is regarded as disabled. For example, if someone is disabled, is paralyzed, for example, he or she cannot be discriminated against for any type of employment so long as they can show that they can perform the essential functions of the job either with or without what the law calls reasonable accommodation. And then one may ask, well, what is reasonable accommodation? Reasonable accommodation may simply be a situation where the work layout is designed to allow wheelchairs to easily circumnavigate the floor of either the factory or of the office. There may also be situations where a blind person can also have reasonable accommodation in terms of maybe having a reader or having certain works translated into Braille, and so that that person may be able to read or review whatever is necessary for that employment. The Americans with Disabilities Act has sometimes, though, been subjected to very strict criteria by the courts. For example, if one has severe myopia, that one cannot see far away, if that person, though, with corrective lenses can see and can have his or her vision adjusted, that person will not be considered disabled. So if there are certain types of corrective functions that or prescriptions that the disabled employee can use to alleviate the symptoms of that disability, then that person will not be considered disabled. There's also not only the situation where the law prevents someone who is disabled from being denied a job, for example. The law also prohibits an employer from acting on stereotypes regarding a person's medical condition. For example, an employer, even though he or she may believe that someone with AIDS, for example, can spread the virus to someone else through casual contact, the type of contact that one has with one's coworkers, that person will be protected, that person with AIDS, and the employer cannot act upon that type of stereotypical type of perspective. And so and the same thing with respect maybe to cancer patients and others. Even though the employer may regard such a person as disabled, and maybe the person is not technically disabled, he or she is still protected in one's employment.